Alright, everybody, welcome back. Hello, thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe. In this video, I'm going to recap my 2 days from last week that I did not make a video on. High level summary of last week. Started off really strong Monday and Tuesday. After those 2 days, I was up 9R. I unfortunately gave a lot back on Wednesday. Lost about 7.5R, but with fees about 8. And then I made changes in my system. I added a fourth higher time frame confluence parameter that I need to be active to trade. Before I needed three. I had three higher time frame confluence variables, and I needed two of them to be active. After Wednesday, I made it so I have four, and I need three of them to be active. And then, so that was Wednesday, after a pretty bad day. And then Thursday, I log on. Just kind of a funny story. I log on to trade, and I get into I have 3 out of 4 higher time frame confluence, so I trade, I get long, and I'm in a trading Discord, right? And someone shared a Indian metal band, or an Indian metal song, and I'm like, okay, I've never even seen Indian music or listened to Indian music before, so Indian metal, like, all right, I gotta check this out. And it was a really cool music video. I'll put it in the description. It was like, it was pretty cool, but this is still very early in the morning because I trade on Mountain Time. It was like 7:45, and I had slept in. I didn't sleep well the night before, so I was like sipping some chai tea in bed, watching this Indian metal music video, and I spill my tea. I'm moving around, spill my tea. I've entered a trade by now, and I spill my tea like on my laptop. So I immediately turn my laptop upside down. I pat it dry. I shut it off. So none of the hardware fries. And it's just been upside down the last 3 days. I haven't been on my computer. I got a backup, which is like my old laptop that I gave to my fiance that I used for a bit, but just ended up taking Friday off. But that trade I entered on Thursday morning, when I went on to hold it, it was my longest win in terms of points I've ever had. It was 45 MES points. So I got long on Thursday, and I'll show you the setup. It went really well. In fact, let's start. I'll share my screen and show the price action, and I'll start with Thursday instead of Wednesday, and then I'll cover Wednesday afterwards. So this, I don't have much from Wednesday or from Thursday, but this is the picture I took before I spilled on my laptop. So you can see we had bar 1 was this bullish hammer bar, and bar 2 was a bullish hammer. I actually entered 7 points late. I should have joined right at the break of this bar high on bar 2, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. Let me switch to this because this will be better. I can get closer for YouTube. So I actually should have joined down here. I was doing something else. I wasn't on my screen. I should have joined right here at the break of this bar high, but I missed it. I said, this is still a great trade. I want to get long here, so I joined and put my take profit up here. Probably should have put it at this pivot point, but I looked left and I said, okay, this is where it pushed down from last. The market is efficient. I think bulls are going to try and get it up to this level, near the previous high of day, which is this red line at 5,500. Then I look at the hourly chart, and I'm like, okay, big push up. Yesterday was just a bearish day. I lost 3 trades today trying to go long, by the way, but it was a huge gap up. Made sense that people would take profit. that it would come back after a gap this big, but I wanted to get long. But so, and I'll cover this day next. But it gaps up, super bullish, too far away. There's a lot of air. It comes back, it consolidates. You can see there's wicks underneath each of these bars, showing there's buyers. And then yesterday's bar, like the closing bar of the day, it's like a consolidation hammer up bar right on the 9 EMA. Not that means something to me. But I know that we're bullish, right? We've had the 9 EMA is above the 21 EMA. They've come back over the 63 EMA. So I'm biased bullish because of this indicator. I'm biased bullish because we're currently above the day's opening level, which is this green line. And then I'm also biased bullish because after that first bar formed, we're breaking out of this bar from yesterday, 1. All right, we're breaking out of this bar. So we're breaking out of the high of the previous 1 hour bar. And so that was reason to be bullish. And I just expected we would get back up to this point and target up here. And 2 hourly breakout bars, it ended up doing that. Now, I only made 42.5 points. I didn't like being in the trade without having my phone, so after I think I went on my phone and moved my take profit down to the 60 level area because I made 45 points. I got in about 417, I think. So add 5, 422, add 40. So I think it was like about here, about 463 that I got out. I can actually check just looking at my trade history. Orders. Orders for Thursday, the 24th. Sell order 63.75. So 63.75, right about here. But I could have kept my original trade up here at 78, and it would have filled, and I would have made another $75. But hey, 45 points is still really good. I'm really proud of myself for holding that. And I think part of the reason I had the confidence to hold for longer is because I now have more confluence on my trades. Now it's four higher time frame variables that I'm looking at, and so if 3 of them are hit, that's more confidence than 2 out of 3. I think that makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it went up quite a bit more. It ranged from like 10:30 Eastern to 12 Eastern. So for an hour and a half, it ranged, and then it made another move up, and it actually moved up another 40 points over to here. Came back a little bit and went all the way up to 540. So it went 70 points past, over 70 points past where I sold out of. It's pretty wild. And I took Friday off, but Friday looks like it just ranged the whole time. Not that great of a day, looks like. Not that great of a day. And I'm kind of glad I didn't trade because I struggle with this type of price action, but that's why I have my higher time frame confluence rules to protect me and keep me out of times like this. Okay. Looks like there was a good long here, though, around bar 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. If you would have been able to hold on, though, that would have been hard mentally to hold through this because it was a long and slow grind up. Not like this fast, aggressive grind, which is kind of easier to hold through. Very much a buying market. All the market participants are on this side. Okay, so what happened Thursday that led to me making those rules that I did really, where I traded really poorly? Thursday, I tried to go for a long here on whatever bar this is, this as a signal bar. Part of me knew it was a bad idea because look how choppy it is. There's wicks on top of the several of these 5-minute bars showing that there is sellers here. This was, and we had gapped up so high on the 1 hourly that like it just, I mean, how many points did we gap up from 5,320 to, over 120 points? That's a pretty big gap. And I thought, hey, we gapped up quite a bit, but we're gonna rip up, and that can happen sometimes. But this is just such a big gap up that I don't know. I probably should have just played it safe. This looks pretty choppy. Like, it's hard to tell who's in control here. Yeah, the bulls do bring it up, but there's so much resistance, which you can see by the wicks on top. So I try to get long, put my stop loss below this bar here, get stopped out, and I lose quite a bit on this trade because I have to risk extra just to get my stop loss below here because it's such a volatile market. I need a wider stop. Pushes back up again. I'm like, okay, bulls are here for it, but we don't make a new high of day and we start heading down, and there's like several. I mean, there's so much air underneath here. It kind of makes sense that we would at least attempt a gap close. But I was so bullish minded with the hourly EMAs being bullish, and we're above the opening level. So I had 2 out of 3 of my higher time frame variables. I actually had 3 out of 4 here. But then this second trade, I wouldn't have been able to take this because I wouldn't have had 3 out of my higher time frame variables. Wouldn't have been breaking out above a high of a previous 1 hour bar, which is what I would have needed. In fact, we were actually breaking below the low of a previous 1 hour bar, so that's a bearish signal. So that really would have kept me out. Yeah, not a good time to trade there, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And then this trade, again, bad long, risked too many contracts, did too tight a stop loss. So once I got stopped out after this bar here, and I got stopped out, I said, oh, it's still a good trade idea. I just didn't have enough. I didn't let the trade ride. I was trying to micromanage it too much with too tight a stop loss. I'm going to put it on and let it work for real, let it work right. So on this trade, I lost like 3R. And then on this trade, I lost like 3R too. I should have just risked 1 contract because with how volatile this is, my stop losses were just too tight. And I was trying to add more contracts to get more leverage. But then you have to put the stop loss tighter and you don't let the trade work. So just bad risk management there. Bad risk management combined with bad reading of price action. And it's a deadly combo, leads to negative 7R days. Fortunately, I've been trading enough where I will have some positive 7R days, and I need to get to the point where I'm reducing the number of minus 7R days. I really need to make it so like the most I lose on a day is 3 or 4R, and I also need to increase my winning sizes. I think this new higher time frame confluence rule will help a lot. It'll keep me out of a lot of bad trades. In the trades I'm in that I actually end up in, I'm going to have more confidence to let those ride because I have more requirements to get in. So if I end up getting in, I say, okay, I know this is a good trade because it has 3 out of 4 of my higher time frame confluence and 2 out of 2 of my lower time frame confluence. So I think this is where I'll end the video. Appreciate you watching. I feel like I kind of showed my thought process a little bit in here, which I think maybe is helpful, hopefully. Appreciate you watching. Please like, leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions. Got a free Discord in the description. I got my email in the description, so email me if you want to start a conversation. Happy to help try and answer trading questions. I don't know if I'm the best person to ask, but if you ask me, I can say, oh, I think this, but Adam Grimes said this and Linda Rashke said that. One thing that I guess I am good at, or have been done well, is like read a lot of the people who really do know what they're talking about. So I'm kind of able to point at least maybe to something that might be useful to you. I just like when people ask questions because, selfishly, when you teach something, you learn it twice. So I get to improve my education a bit. Even though maybe I'm not the most qualified, I still appreciate it. So anyway, that's what I think. Appreciate you watching. Have a good week trading. Good luck to you. Risk your money better than I did last Wednesday, and be as selective as I was last Thursday. And everybody have a good week. Appreciate it. See you next time. Adios. Peace.